Welcome to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. I'm your host, Todd Perlmutter. Our world is a projection of our collective consciousness. The more peace we bring into our lives, the more peace we bring into this world. So let the transformation begin. For as long as humans have been around, we have been asking the question, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? And as long as religions have been around, or philosophers, we have tried to answer that question. We've come up with heaven and hell, karma, past lives. Maybe someone was a bad person in a past life and they're paying off the karma now. Maybe in a future life, we'll see that bad person finally face justice. But we're actually asking the wrong question. The question isn't why do bad things happen to good people, or why do good things happen to bad people. The question really that matters is, are bad people happy? Let's face it, Kim Jong-un's father, lived to old age as a god dictator of his country. Everything he could ever want was brought to him immediately. Everyone praised him constantly. He had total power, total control, immense wealth, all the pleasures, comforts, and luxuries of life. But was he happy? And the clear answer is no. Because cruel people cannot be happy. Because cruelty is a coping mechanism for misery. When we are truly happy, when we are feeling truly blessed, overflowing with joy, the natural response is an outpouring of that joy and good feeling to others. We have so much joy and love, which is the greatest feeling there is. You know, we like stuff, but when we love it, that's the ultimate. And when we are just overflowing and bursting, we have to share it or we will explode. And that would not be good. And so, even though he died at his old age and peacefully in his sleep, with no seemingly moments of his karma catching up with him, he ruled by fear, starvation, torture, prison camps where babies are born into and will die, living their whole life in these prisons. An entire country cut off from the outside world, where kids are encouraged to report on their parents if they speak against the regime, where entire families are imprisoned if one person tries to escape, where close family members of the supreme leader are assassinated and murdered because of a suspicion of rivalry. So, with just minimal inspection, it is clear to see that this is not a happy person, that he is ruled by the emotions of anger and hatred, and, judging from his behavior, fear and paranoia. And when you live like this, even if you're surrounded by people praising you, you feel utterly and completely alone. Nobody can be real with you. Everyone is wearing a mask. And all you have for moments of escape from those feelings is to obliterate your mind with indulgences, to escape and distract with extreme acts of cruelty and hatred for your amusement. Always needing a bigger and bigger fix, like a drug addict, to get some sense of pleasure, which has been so dulled by the fact that you always have the finest of everything on demand. And you are so disconnected from your empathy, which is that connection to everyone else. You are so disconnected from that realization of oneness with everything, that all you are is your ego, and so you deeply fear your own death. You fear losing those attachments to your physical cravings that you've developed, your life of opulence. And so, especially in your last breaths, you're overcome with fear and panic, because that is that moment where everything you've been stuffing down comes to the surface. None of those pleasures, addictions, and comforts of life we use to distract ourselves matter anymore. And we are faced with that ultimate truth of what we have done and how we have lived our lives. And Kim Jong-il, really, as much as he was a perpetrator of evil, he was born into it. He inherited the government, the dictatorship, and this governance of fear and cruelty. He did not have the courage, compassion, or ability to change it. And so he lived the only way he knew he could, survived the only way he thought he could, and passed on that inheritance to his son. And the cycle of pleasure to drown out the sorrow continues. From the outside, it may look grand and glorious. These guys always having fun, always living the big life with the best of everything. But it's so important to remember, the only thing that matters in life is happiness. To a person who is truly happy, wealth and fortunate circumstances and fame do not even matter. And to a truly unhappy person, wealth, fortunate circumstances, and fame cannot lift them out of their misery. And it is so often the aspiration of so many unhappy people that if they could just have that fame or fortune or good circumstances, that they can finally be happy. And it is so often the downfall of so many fortunate, famous, wealthy people to have those things and to still be unhappy and to have to contend with this fact that there is no hope left for them to be happy, because they've done all the things, achieved all the things that they were sure would bring them their happiness. So we have to get beyond this delusion that good things will make us happy and realize that it is through being good that we will be happy, and that is the way to a good life. Don't be forgiving to make someone else feel better, to get into heaven, to get good karma. Don't be generous because you expect to receive what you give tenfold. Don't be kind and compassionate just because it's the right thing to do. Do those things and live rightly, because being good leads to a good life. And a good life is a happy life. When we don't judge others, we are happy. When we let go of hate and forgive, we are happy. When we are generous and thoughtful and selfless and thinking of others and how we can make their lives better, we are not thinking about our own worries, our own stresses, our own insecurities, or fears. Anger, hatred, and even dislike are the worst feelings in the world. Like is good, but love is amazing. And you don't have to love everything in every moment, but you do have to love every moment. Not the content of each moment, but that present moment awareness, which is steady, still, calm, peaceful, and silent, beneath the surface of every moment. That is where true joy and peace come from. Because only when we realize that true happiness lies in the nothingness, free from craving something to give us a moment of pleasure, free from needing to avoid any kind of pain or discomfort, that is when we are truly free. And only true freedom is real happiness. Everything else is a need, only temporarily satisfied, always leading to more craving and longing, only providing brief moments of pleasure before swinging back into pain, always oscillating between the two, because the nature of this universe is finding balance. And as long as we go from pleasure, we'll go back to pain, and back and forth. And only in our centeredness, in balance, can we maintain peace, which is true bliss. No disturbance of any kind. Whether there is pleasure or pain, we are at peace. We don't have to run away from pain and grasp on to pleasure with all of our might, only exhausting us as this roller coaster continues. Whether we are the most fortunate billionaire, famous person on earth, or we are really struggling living paycheck to paycheck, we are living on the roller coaster of life. Pain and discomfort are constantly arising and falling away. Suffering that we make worse by hating it and trying to end it, only for it to eventually and peacefully end on its own anyway. Likewise, moments of pleasure and happiness will also happen for us, but we ruin them through clinging and attachment as they too inevitably slip away. The more we simply pay attention to this roller coaster, the more we just watch how it goes up and down, the more we cannot react to it. Stop the clinging, stop the resisting and fighting, and we can just trust that it's going to go up, it's going to go down, and we can stay at peace through both. All reaction is slavery. It is the involuntary response to whatever external stimuli happens to be going on at the moment. Through practice, through intention and effort, through conscious awareness, we can just watch the whole play of life unfold. Watch the positive thoughts and the negative thoughts equally as if they are one. We can watch pleasurable and displeasing sensations as if they are the same. We can explore both with the same curiosity, with the same attention, with the same childlike wonder. We don't have to identify with any thoughts, with any conflicts, because we can realize that there is no such thing as conflict. There are simply two people, two sides, who have ideas in their mind, thoughts that are saying that a conflict has arisen. It does not exist anywhere but in the mind. Just like in the animal kingdom, there are bears and tigers, and sometimes we need to take physical action to end one of those brief encounters. But when it is a bear or a tiger, as soon as the encounter is over, as soon as we are safe, we are not in hate. We are not in anger. We are not holding a grudge. It would be absurd. But only with humans, when there are two egos involved, the conflict endures. And beautifully enough, we have the ability to disidentify with our own ego and end any conflict. We can still work for a goal. We can still get away to safety, protect ourselves. But the weight of conflict will not weigh on our shoulders, only theirs. And this is the only kind of freedom worth having. If we have everything, but we need to see a therapist once a week, if we need to drink or drug or shop ourselves into mental oblivion to distract ourselves, we are not free. As long as our thoughts control us, as long as we are forced to escape them, as long as addiction controls our lives, as long as we need the soothing balm of a feeling of superiority or the feeling of wealth in our bank account or the feel of a new designer bag or the smell of a new car to feel better, we will be further and further away from true happiness. And only when we can be truly happy with nothing, with stillness, with silence, with peace, with our thoughts, with ourselves, can we enjoy truly all the pleasures of life. Whether it's a Ferrari or a used Honda Civic, whether it is a trip to Dubai or a trip to a park nearby, whether it is a fancy restaurant or a home-cooked meal with family and loved ones, whether we're in a 15-bedroom house or a 1-bedroom apartment. The difference in life has nothing to do with what is around us and everything to do with what is within us. Turn inward. Focus on that. Sit with whatever arises and notice its ever-changing nature with peace, and your entire life will become peaceful, blissful, joyful, and meaningful, no matter what is happening around you. And when you live this good life, full of goodness, which brings about true happiness, everyone around you will realize the insanity of living any other way. And you will spread that goodness. They will spread that goodness. And the world will change very quickly. This is the only way. The way is the way. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to everyone who supports this podcast at eastwesticism.org, on YouTube, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed, left a review, or shared it with a friend. Your support means the world and keeps this positive content getting out into the world, bringing some, hopefully, balance and peace to this world that needs it so. Thank you again. Much love. Is there more to this universe than science can show us? Is there anything mystical or miraculous in the remote corners of the earth that I could see with my own two eyes? My newest book, Aloneness to Oneness, is that journey of discovery. From the rebellious kid who rejected it all, to the adult searching for something deeper, to the person I am today. It is all of the stories, wisdom, lessons, insights, and inspirations I gained on this adventure. If you've ever questioned, doubted, or wondered about the meaning of it all, this book is for you.